why are you even doing this, man? Why do you stand up every week and teach, or teach from your studio, wherever? Or when I'm passing people on the street or talking to folk, I'm going to teach. Every time I get the opportunity to do so, I'm going to teach. And you know why? Because that's what I came out of my mother's womb for. All right, I'm clear on that. That's my assignment. So my objective, my purpose, okay, for existing, actually, my purpose is to begin the process of undoing and reversing ideas and concepts that have been programmed into the minds of our people by foreign ideas, okay, concepts that are foreign to us, standards that are anti-African, viewpoints that are Eurocentric, okay, causing us to short circuit on the inside, paradigms that have caused us to adopt a cognitive reality that has resulted in our loss of contact with what is real, our loss of contact with what is factual, our loss of contact with what is historical, and our loss of contact with what is spiritual. And that's what I came out of my mother's womb for. Now, do you know why you came out of your mother's womb? Okay, because you know your purpose is, you'll be wasting time, you'll be spinning wheels in mud. Okay, going nowhere. Okay? As I was, and of course, I'm still influenced, even with today's message, from the sad celebration that we had on yesterday. You know, thinking about our young sister, Bria. How old was she? 25 years old.
26 yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Yesterday was her birthday, wasn't it? Okay. Not only that, but not only was she young, but she departed this earthly realm, leaving 3 beautiful small children. You know? And thinking about that and trying to digest that, you know, and not just Bria, so many of our youth. You know, I look at the state or the condition of our young people, and I'm reminded of the seriousness of what we would say every week here at the African Village at the closing of our services. Remember we did the pledge to our children? Yes. Every week, every time we came together, we would state our commitment to our children to do everything in our power to see to it that their future is secure. That's what we pledged ourselves here at the African Village to do with our young people. So now the question I must ask you today, and those of you who are watching, I must ask you the question, what does it mean to secure the future for our children? What does it mean? What's involved in securing our future? And when I say for our children, I'm not just talking about our children, I'm talking about our future too. And the reason why I say that is because our children are our future. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? So what's involved in securing our future? Are we able to do that? Not just willing to, let me break this down for y'all, okay? A lot of people are willing to do that. Yes, we wanna be sure that our children are safe. Everybody is willing to do that, but not everybody is able to do that. Y'all, you know how when you go for a job, they ask you, are you willing and able? Right? See, a lot of people are willing, they have a desire to do, but they can't do it. Okay? And a lot of, you know, it's really deep, man, because, oh my God, when we're talking about our young people and them being secure and having a future and having a life, is that a realistic statement? See, that's how we have to start thinking about this, y'all. Is that a realistic statement to expect a secure future for our young people? We must make a serious assessment of this commitment on our part to pledge to our children and do whatever is necessary to put our words into action. So important. I'm convinced, y'all, that there are too many of our people who are idealistic about life. And that's what I mean when I say willing. Okay? I'm sure there are people who are willing to be homeowners. I'm sure there are people who are willing to have a bank account with a cushion of $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 in it. I'm sure there are people who are willing to have a brand new car. Y'all get the point? Okay? But there's a difference between being an idealist and a realist. Are y'all following me here? Okay? Yeah, I've been so long since I heard y'all in the background, so I'm taking advantage of this today, okay? I'm usually in my studio just talking to a screen, but hey, I got y'all with me today, so yeah. So understand how deep this goes, man. A lot of people, everybody repeat after me, a lot of people are dreamers. Okay? Remember that. A lot of people are dreamers. Now, what is a dreamer? Let's define that. A dreamer, grab this now, a dreamer is a person who has a great idea while they're asleep. Okay? A great idea while they are asleep. That's what dreaming is really all about. Oh my God. See, and here's the deep thing. The focus of a dreamer is on keeping the dream alive. Grab what I'm saying here, y'all. Okay? That's the focus of a dreamer. Okay? The dreamer is not about productivity. The dreamer is not about accomplishment. The dreamer is not even about getting results. You know why? Because in the dream, all that's happening. That's what makes the dream so wonderful. You're experiencing something that's not real because you're in dreamland. Now, the tragedy of keeping a dream alive is that in order to keep your dream alive, you have to remain asleep.
All right.
You ever hear folks come, keep the dream alive? Keep the dream alive. What you want to do that for? I mean, you got to stay asleep to do that. Now, here's the deep thing about it. The very moment that you wake up from the dream, no matter how wonderful your dream was, no matter how great or exciting or inspiring or sensational or motivating or magnificent or breathtaking your dream was, the moment you wake up, that dream ceases to exist. You are back to life, back to reality, as soon as you wake up. Okay? And reality can only be dealt with while you are awake. Now, what are the realities that must be dealt with when it comes to securing our future? Can I talk honestly with y'all today? What are the realities, man, that we have to deal with? Well, let's start with the most important people in securing our future. Those people are called parents. Let's deal with these realities today. How do we address being sure that our future is secured? Well, parents, we you to be sure you do what you have to do to lay down a standard in the life and minds of our young people so that we don't run into the problems that we're running into, such as number one, and you may want to write these down, unscheduled or unplanned pregnancies. I told you I was going to say stuff y'all ain't like now. Because see, actually, you know what we've done today? We have glorified premature pregnancies. We are actually teaching our children, our babies, to celebrate being pregnant. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mean for this to be a message of condemnation. I'm not trying to condemn anybody, okay? Please don't mistake that. But what I'm saying is, it's something a little strange when a 14-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl who can't even speak great standard English brags about, child, I'm pregnant. Not pregnant, pregnant. They're that immature yet. Okay? And then it's deep because, you know, we say, well, we understand people can make a mistake. Okay? But when it's your third and fourth, and for some, even sixth pregnancy, and you're not even 18 years old yet, and I don't mean to just knock the sisters, brothers, they can't get pregnant without the men, or the males.
Yes.
Why is it that approximately, hear this y'all, why is it that approximately 94%, what percentage did I just say? 94, approximately 94% of our people who are parents or about to become parents didn't mean for it to happen. Did not mean for it to happen.
Covered it up.
Okay? Consequently, now there is a major disturbance. There's a major distraction. There's a major interference in the life and plans, if there are any plans, of the person who is now about to become a parent. Just a few days ago, I was talking with a young man, and I said, man, what are your goals? And he said to me, and it really was kind of hard to follow him because a lot of the young folk today, they spend more time saying, do you feel me? You know, or they spend more time saying, you understand what I'm saying? You know, and they haven't even finished the statement yet. Yeah. And I said to the brother, I said, I'm trying to follow you, dude. I'm trying to follow. You keep asking me, do I understand what you're saying? But you haven't said it yet. Okay, that's how they communicate now. Okay, and so, and I told him, I said, brother, listen, you can't reach your goals if you don't even have any. He was telling me things he would like to see done in his life. So I said, well, how are you going to make it happen, man? What's your plan? You know, well, I'm trying to focus on things that I think are more important, you know, to the world. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's kind of hard out here for us. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and I'm saying, I'm trying to, bro. I'm trying, but I'm waiting for you to get to the point. Because that's where the level of thinking is. But again, the question here is, why does this so frequently happen to our people? Yeah. Why? What is the cause of this reoccurring phenomenon? How do we break this cycle of unexpected and unprepared and, as I said, often repeated impregnations among our young brothers and sisters? Y'all, this is a reality. And my question again is, are we able to address it? I know we want to address it. We're willing to address it. But are we able to address it? I want y'all to understand how deep this thing is, man. I came out, out of the Pentecostal church. And of all the denominations that black folk participate in, teenage pregnancy in the Pentecostal church is higher than any other denomination. And yet they talk more about fornication than any other church. Flee fornication. Don't have sex. Keep your legs closed, girl. This is what our young people grow up hearing. We tell them what not to do. But do we teach them how not to do it? Or are we dreaming about what needs to be done to stop it? The second thing, write it down, is parental denial of the truth. Are we prepared to stop blaming our young people for such tragic circumstances? It's deep how, especially in the church, you'd be surprised how many young females are scarred because of the rebuke and condemnation they get from church folk. You see, it's easier to blame our young people
than to take the blame
for not upholding the idealistic values that we dreamers have taught them.
Yes.
Are y'all getting this? Am I making sense to you? It's easy to tell our youth, I just said, what they should not do. But how have we equipped them to not do what we tell them they shouldn't do? I'll tell you how we've equipped them, especially from the church. We've equipped them, which really we haven't done, but we think we have. We think we have equipped them by drilling them with Bible stories. By making them recite books of the Bible. How many of our children are pressured into reciting the books of the Bible? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and so forth. And then when they stand there at 8 and 9 years old and say all 66 books, we give them a standing ovation like that prepared them not to make the mistakes in life that they're making.
That's right.
How have we prepared them? By making them excel in Sunshine Band. By making them excel in YPWW. Well, that's what they called in the Church of God in Christ, where I came out of, Young People Willing Worker. By making them excel in church youth programs, which usually teaches them what you were taught.
Come on. Nothing more.
I must be happy to be here today, because I feel like my chest is about to explode. I'm going to be talking so happy, man. By teaching them what was taught to you. And what's really deep is what you were taught didn't prevent it from happening to you. And you still think that it's going to help the children grow up like they should, because you're passing on to them the lies, the errors, the falsities that you were raised on. The third thing to help secure our future is understanding that we were assigned a culture and value system that was never ours in the first place. Oh my goodness. And if we don't intentionally and consciously choose our culture and our African value system If we don't intentionally choose it, family, we will be molded and shaped by the culture and value system that has been assigned to us. Thank you, Shirley. Yeah, let me just help me calm down a little bit, because y'all, I'm telling y'all, I feel like I want to jump through this roof up here today. Why do we teach our children fairy tales?
That's all we know.
Why do we input these false hopes and aspirations into the awesome minds of our African children and then say we want to secure a future for our children? For example, stories of a poor girl who's victimized by her jealous sisters.
All right.
But she was rescued by a fairy godmother who sends her to a banquet in a chariot that was a pumpkin. This chariot is drawn by horses that were mice. Y'all follow this? And she was dressed in a gown that was rags and glass shoes that were raggedy slippers. And to top it off, she catches the eye of the richest and most powerful, good-looking young man in the kingdom. This kind of foolishness, this kind of senseless expectation becomes the subconscious hopes and dreams of our young people as they develop into adulthood. And we want to know why they're having the problems they're having. Look at this. We're getting ready to come into a time of the year. And some of you parents then already went and bought a damn tree that's taller than the ceiling in your house. Oh, shucks. Got these children waiting for this dude to come and put gifts up under that tree. Who's going to come down the chimney in your house while they sleep. And we're talking about we want to secure the future. How are you going to secure the future teaching lies?
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? Our children are living what we give them. I ask you again, brothers and sisters, are you really serious about securing our future? Because if you're really serious about securing our future, somehow or another, with tact and wisdom, the ancestors need to be using every one of us to communicate to those who are practicing this foolishness that they need to stop it. Our children have been taught that they need to get a good education. Oh, you hear? You need to get a good education so that you can get a good job, so that you can secure money. But we have not impressed upon the children that they need to know who they are. Now, I'm not talking about here at the African Village now, okay? I'm not doing. That's why we exist, to do the very things that I'm saying right now. Okay, but we don't have African villages everywhere for people to go in and learn who they are. Just sharing with Minister Stewart yesterday, if some of our young people had been given the opportunity without resistance to hear the truth of their culture, to hear the truth of their ancestry, to hear the truth of our African past, to hear the truth of what we've come through as a people, where we've come from, who we are, what we've gone through to get to where we are, our young people wouldn't be going through the stuff they're going through. But no, that's not important enough. You see? Neither have our children been taught who it is and what it is that oppresses them. Did y'all hear what I just said? I'll say it again. Our youth, our future, have not been taught who it is or what it is that's oppressing them. I was talking to a parent a few weeks ago where I want my child to grow up to love everybody. And of course she was a Christian, and she said, because Dr. Hagen, you have to understand, the Bible says in Christ, there's neither Jew nor Gentile, bond nor Greek, or bond or free. You know, ain't no black and white in the Lord. And I just looked at her. Because see, I'm at the point in my life now to where as I ask God and the ancestors to not let me make a fool out of myself by trying to communicate to people who don't want to hear. Everybody repeat after me. There is none so blind as he who will not see. The Lord wants us all to just love one another, be one. We're all one family. And I started to say to her, why didn't they hold to that view when they kidnapped us from Africa? But you know, my spirit said, don't waste your breath, man. You know, we got to get to the point, y'all, of realizing time is of the essence, okay? And when a person, in fact, the ancient African proverb says it this way: leave him in the dark who loves the dark. They're still doing that here, ain't they? I've been here for over 22 years, and every Sunday when I'm teaching, the fire department goes past, every Sunday. Lord have mercy. Sometimes I start taking it personal. Our young people don't know who it is and what it is that's orchestrating the manipulation of their self-destruction. What good is reading, writing, and arithmetic
when you're at war?
If you don't have an African value system? Now, I'm not talking about white children. They can have their value system. I'm talking about our youth. That's my focus today. Our youth. Our youth are suffering because we have been given a program that's not us. I mean, that's backwards right there. What do you call it? Reading, writing, and arithmetic. What is that commonly called? The 3 R's, right? See how dumb that is? The 3 R's. Reading, that's an R. Writing, that's a W. And arithmetic, that's an A.
Yes. How's it the 3 R's?
Doggone it. You need to excel in the 3 R's. Mommy, what's the 3 R's? Reading, writing, and arithmetic. And a 9-year-old child said, but Mommy, ain't writing spelled W-R-I-T? Boy, don't get smart with me. Boy, I tell you, if our children want to be an engineer, follow this well. If our children want to be an engineer, if our children want to be a doctor, I was sharing with, what's Bria's son's name?
Ryan? Oh, no,
Austin, right? And yesterday we stopped by Elder Aries' house, and of course, little Austin is hurting because his mommy just passed away, right? And he had his head kind of down, you know, and he was kind of, you could see it was heavy on him. And so I said to him, I said, Austin, your name is Austin, right? He said, shook his head. I said, do you know who I am? He said, no. I said, well, I'm your Aunt Ari's pastor, and I'm your mommy's pastor. Can I share something with you? He said, yes. I said, guess what? When I was young like you, my mommy died too. And then he looked at me like, oh, wow. You can relate to what I'm going through, you know? And I said, and guess what? I was in so much pain. I cried, okay? But my auntie, my great auntie, just like your great auntie, okay, took me in and raised me. Yes. And his face is getting brighter and brighter by the moment because I guess, people feel like ain't nobody going through what I'm going through. You see? And I said, and guess what? I'm a doctor now. And you know what? I said, and just like with all my pain, I ended up being a doctor. You can be a doctor too. Okay? And you know what? It was really deep. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it made me feel, I don't say this to boast, I'm trying to make a point here. About 5 minutes later, I was talking to Elder Ari, and we looked at him, and he was in the other room with the other young people, and he was just laughing and I said, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be all right. As long as he got a support system. You know, and as long as he knows that he could be anything he wants to be, despite of what happened, he'll be fine. But we have to let the children know that. That's our job. And while I'm on it, since I'm here at the village, y'all out in the internet, just excuse me for a moment. Let me talk to the home folk for a moment. Y'all, I want us here at the African Village to pledge our commitment to see to it that our Elder Ari Williams has all the help she needs with these little children. Our Elder Ari is 83 years old? 83 years old, trying to raise babies now? Come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all ever heard that phrase, it takes a village to raise a child? Well, it's time for us to put our works where our words are.
Uh-oh. You messing up. There you go.
Excuse me for pausing the message here, but I'm sitting here listening like you are, and I'm being blessed by my own teaching today.
Mm-hmm.
But I just mentioned Elder Ari Williams, and of course this video is from a couple of years ago. And for those who might have logged on late, once again, the reason why I aired this video is because in the opening part of this video today, it had our Elder Comey White, who would lead us in the Black National Anthem. Well, he made his transition this past week. And I wanted you guys to hear him sing that one more time. And I'm going to show you very shortly the final arrangements for his life celebration ceremony, okay? But the reason why I stopped the video is because I mentioned Elder Ari Williams, and I said I want you guys to let's surround her and help her as much as we can. Well, to give you an update, okay, the children are now living in Chicago with other family members, okay, who are younger and more able, to adequately see to it their needs, okay? But keep Elder Ari in your prayers, family. She is not doing well at all. Not at all. Not at all. She has lost so much weight. She's under 100 pounds now. Okay, and I'm really, really concerned about it. So, being that I mentioned her in this video, just keep her in your prayers, okay? Okay, let's resume it. If our children want to be an accountant, If our children want to be an attorney or whatever profession they want to choose, guess what, y'all? Whatever they want to be, guess what? There are schools for them to go to learn how to do that. But what about if our children want to be a parent? What school do they go to learn how to do that? What if they want to be a father, a mother, or a husband, or a wife? What institution are our children going to learn how to be that? The importance of child rearing and marriage is left to guesswork, trial and error, or whatever you picked up from your parents. If they were dysfunctional, guess what? You're going to end up being dysfunctional. Isn't it deep that the biblical text says it this way? As is the mother, so is the daughter. Bet y'all didn't know that was in the Bible, did you? That was drilled into my head at a very early age, and it made me afraid. Because what would happen is when I'd meet a sister, I want to meet her mama. Because the Bible says, as is the mother, so is the daughter. Boy, I tell you see, the values and priorities in the European society, and this is a European society, family, don't get it twisted, all right? The values and priorities in the European society called America emphasizes career and money, not family stability. Isn't it ironic that most employers would tell you that the tremendous loss of employee productivity is due to family problems at home? So again, I ask the question, are you really serious about securing a future for us? Because if we don't give it to the children, we won't have a future. It's time to stop wasting time. Now there's so many passages in the biblical text, in the Hosea, that speaks to us about the importance of seeing to it that our oncoming generation gets right knowledge. Notice I said right knowledge. I didn't say that see to it that the oncoming generations get the traditions of your church or your pastor, or the way you grew up. I didn't say that. We got to see to it that our children get right knowledge. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all those scriptures right now, but just understand. Maybe I can quote one that folk might not know too much about. For example, in the book of Proverbs, it says in the book of Proverbs, y'all ever hear the phrase, spare the rod, spoil the child? Y'all heard that, right? Okay, well, y'all guess what? The Bible doesn't say that. Well, the good book said, spare the rod and spoil the child. No, the good book don't say that. Okay? What the Bible does say is he that spareth the rod hateth his son. The Bible also says in Proverbs, young people just naturally do foolish things. It's natural for them to do foolish things. You know why? Because they're young. You know? Okay? Young people just do foolish things naturally because they're young. But then it goes on to say, but the rod of correction will drive foolishness far away from him. Now, I'm living proof. I don't need nobody else's evidence. I'm the evidence to that verse right there. The woman who raised me, my great aunt, Dr. Eileen Gilmore, who I call my mother, God put a motor, M-O-T-O-R. God put a motor in that woman's shoulder. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? And not only that, I don't know if y'all had parents that were just, oh God, I'm thinking about, I remember one time she said she was going to get me. And the entire while, the rest of that day, I was messed up. I was messed up. The next day, I was messed up. She didn't get me. At least not right away. Almost 2 weeks later, I don't know if y'all ever experienced anything like this. Almost 2 weeks later, my mom said to me, now Raymond, you remember when I told you such and such, and you disobeyed me? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, go on upstairs, get ready for bed. I figured she was going to let me go to bed. Got my pajamas on. She came in my room with one of those big old Garrison, but no, I'm sorry, it wasn't a Garrison belt, it was a coffee pot cord. I don't know if y'all remember those coffee pot cords. They were black cloth with the little white stripes through it, thread, you know. She came in my room with that coffee pot cord and said, now didn't I tell you? And that's the last thing she said. Her words couldn't keep up with her hand. So she just stopped talking and just went to work. And I mean, that arm was whack, 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 whack. And I mean, every lick made contact. And she was moving too fast. You know how you try to grab the, you know, oh, don't you dare grab this. Well, thank God for that motor in her shoulder. Oh yeah, because I can proudly stand here today and say I thank God for that kind of discipline. They done passed laws now that say we would take you to jail if you hit your child like that. And look at how our children are turning out. So the question again is, what are you going to do to secure our future? Well, child, only thing I know to do is just pray for them. That's why they're in the condition they're in. Because nobody prays more than us. Nobody prays more than us. Some of y'all got parents that boast that they are a prayer warrior. Now, what the hell is that? What is a prayer warrior? You should be a liberation warrior. You should be a child empowerment warrior. Dad Bill, who used to come here and fellowship with us, used to say, how you say it? Oh God, he used to say, prayer is okay at a camp meeting, but it don't mean nothing at a bear meeting. You understand? When danger is present, prayer is not the answer. You have to deal with that danger that's present. Position yourself to deal with danger that's present. And don't be ashamed or afraid to deal with a clear and present danger in your life. And our young people are facing a clear and present danger every doggone day. So think about it. Ask the Almighty for wisdom and guidance to carry out whatever it is you need to do to rescue our young people. Because many people are psychologically, intellectually, emotionally, socially, and spiritually asleep. And I painfully found out, y'all, in my years in this movement of trying to free our people's minds, I painfully found out that a lot of folk don't want to wake up.
That's true.
But that's why I asked the question, what time is it? It's time for us to stop wasting time. Minister Stewart, if you will, if you got your Bible program in your phone, to pull up the book of Romans, the 13th chapter. And those of you who are watching, I'm sorry, Miss, I didn't get these verses to you to post in the chat room. Romans 13, verses 11 and 12. And I'm going to close on this verse. You have it?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, it's kind of good to be back in this environment as well. So we've been talking about how people meet Minister Stewart, and they hear her voice, and they say, "You the one that be reading for Dr. Hagin." You know, so y'all about to hear that voice again. Go ahead. What does it say?
And that knowing the time,
Oh yes.
that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Thank you.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
Okay. I want y'all. Oh, I thought you finished. Good.
The night is far spent.
No, you did. After salvation is fine. Yep. Knowing the time. Knowing the time. The word time here comes from the word kairos, which means that strategic period when things are brought to a crisis. You have to know what that is. You have to recognize that strategic period when things are brought to a crisis. I have a question for y'all. Are we in that period now? Yes. We are in a crisis. Our dear warrior sister, ancestor warrior sister now, who made her transition, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who wrote the book, The Yeezus Papers, she said in her work that there are 9 areas of people activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor,
Sex,
law,
all that shit.
politics, religion, sex, and war. These are the 9 areas of people activity. And guess what, y'all? All 9 areas of people activity, we are suffering a period of crisis. Yes. Let's look at verse 11 again. It said, it is now high time. High time. All right, now time again is kairos, but high time comes from the words, or the original etymological term, hora, H-O-R-A-H, which means a definite time. When it says high time, it means a definite time. In other words, that definite time is now. Not next week, not next year. Right now. Not when things get better. Now. To awake from the word ikiro, which means, and here's what awake means in that verse, it means to rise up, get up, and produce. Rise up, get up, and produce. That's what the word awake. It don't just mean open your eyes and wipe the sleep out of your eyes. That's not what it means. Sleep is the word hypnos, which means a state of chronic and severe, oh, hear this well, please hear this. A state of chronic and severe ignorance due to intentional miseducation. Did y'all get what I just said? Due to intentional miseducation. And the word salvation there is the word soteria, which means deliverance. See, y'all think it's about heaven. This ain't got a doggone thing to do with heaven. Soteria here means deliverance from the molestation of our enemies. Did y'all hear what I said? Look at how we're being molested by our enemies. We're being psychologically molested, socially molested, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually molested by our enemies. So again, y'all, it's time to stop wasting time. We have lives to save. Okay? And as long as we keep doing that old tradition of religion, we're going to see more and more and more of our young people dying at early ages, okay, with their lives not where it should be. Can I get an ashe? Brothers and sisters, those of you guys out there watching me, I hope you got something out of the message today. I'd like to extend the invitation to you guys to join in, log on to our 24/7 webcasted teachings at our website, theafricanvillage.org. When you go there, look down the left side of the column, you see where it says listen to the 24/7 broadcast. Click on that link. Listen, learn, free your African mind, prepare yourself, and equip yourself to become instruments in the salvation of our young people. I also invite you to log on every Wednesday night to listen to Q&A with Dr. Ray. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at the same site, okay? You'll see there, it'll come on the same spot. You can always go and listen to our archives. I also invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Periscope channel. Click the like button, okay? And even...
Well, brothers and sisters, I pray that you have been blessed by the message today, even though it was pre-recorded. And once again, the reason why I did this message today is simply because, number one, I'm just not up to teaching today, and it really has something has to really be upsetting to me for me not to be up to teaching. You know, I mean, 'cause that's my joy, that's my strength. But you know, Elder Comey White making his transition on this week really took some wind out of my sail. I'm not gonna lie about it. It really did, and I'm trying to bounce back from that, man. You know. So, by the way, those of you who want to be a part of the celebration of life for Elder Comey, let me put it on the screen there for you. I believe where it is. There it is there, okay? The final arrangements for Elder Comey are as follows. The visitation and viewing will be at the William C. Harris Funeral Home, located at 1645 Redmond Avenue, Spanish Lake, Missouri, or St. Louis, Missouri. And the time will be from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., and that's on Wednesday. Okay, oh my goodness, what is that? The Wednesday, the 15th, I believe it is, yes. Okay, I thought I had it there. And, you know, the funeral, or I shouldn't call it a funeral because it's actually a celebration of the life of Elder Comey. The actual celebration of life ceremony will be on that Wednesday, November 16th at 11 o'clock at the Washington Metropolitan AME Church, which was Elder Comey White's former church before he came to the African Village. And the reason why he requested to have his funeral there instead of at the African Village was, number one, that's the church that his family goes to. Okay, and he knows that his family, you know, they still trying to reach many of them, that they would still be more comfortable at their church than coming into the African Village. You know, and so, hey, out of respect to the family, okay, and Elder Comey's wishes, we're going to just have the ceremony at his previous church. And it's good because all of his old friends and everything will be there, and the church is much larger than the African Village anyway. And the Comey said, and Dr. Ray, I want you to do what you do. So I know what that meant. That's his way of saying my final act of getting this message of African liberation across to as many people as I can. So that's why the ceremony will be at his former church, the Washington Metropolitan AME Church there, and the address is 1613 North Garrison Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, so come on, family, if you're in the St. Louis area, plan to be with us. He did tell his son that he would like to have a strong African village presence at his ceremony. Okay, so listen, brothers and sisters, all of you anywhere there in the St. Louis area, if you could be with us on next week on that Wednesday for the celebration of life, Elder Comey, let's pack out the Washington Metropolitan AME Church. Okay, bear with me for a moment, brothers and sisters. Boy. Oh, I'm gonna miss that brother, believe me when I tell you. Okay, also I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Those of you watching this there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay, and subscribe. Oh boy. Oh my goodness, bear with me, family. I'm trying to hold it together here, man. I really am. Oh my God. Okay, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And email, okay, I forgot to change. The email is just rayhagans@gmail.com. Okay. And I invite you to log on Wednesday nights and listen to the 24/7 station there where I'm teaching on Wednesday nights, Q&A with Dr. Ray. And I'm trying to end this, family, because I'm about to lose it up here, okay? Make your